The alert came through at 2:13 in the morning. I wasn't asleep. I hadn't been sleeping for a long time, weeks, maybe more. The phone buzzed softly on the table beside the bed, restrained and brief, as if it didn't want to disturb me. The message was from Elena. The subject line read, "Everything you never knew." I didn't tap it. I watched the screen glow until it faded, until the glass reflected my face instead of her words. The man staring back looked worn down, leaner, quieter, hollowed out. It had been 2 months since the divorce. 2 months since I signed my name next to hers and watched a decade of shared life shrink into legal text. She hadn't spoken to me since the courthouse. No regret, no answers, just swollen eyes and an attorney who couldn't meet mine. I had convinced myself it was over. That night proved I had been pretending. Eventually, I opened the email. It was long, far too long to be an apology. It was measured, deliberate, not frantic. "I didn't betray you the way you think," she wrote. "I didn't pick him. You were never meant to know." My heartbeat steadied instead of racing, and that reaction frightened me more than anger would have. I locked the phone and walked to a window. Below, the city rested, unaware that something old and hidden had just been disturbed. She said there was more to tell. She said what happened wasn't only her wrongdoing. She said it belonged to both of us. And suddenly, the divorce felt rushed, not because I wanted her back, but because I realized the version of events I had survived might not be the one that truly ruined me. I read the message again when the sun came up, slowly, carefully, every word, every line. I didn't skim. I didn't spare myself. She described the affair, how it started before I ever suspected anything, how it ended before I confronted her. She explained the pressure, the coercion, the threats masked as concern. Then she wrote a name I never expected to see. My brother, Evan. She said he trapped her when I was away for work. Said he filmed her once. Said he convinced her I would never trust her story. I almost laughed out loud. Evan had stood beside me in the courtroom, his hand steady on my shoulder, quiet and loyal. Or so I thought. The message kept going. She said the pregnancy she lost last year wasn't mine. She said she was already expecting before I discovered the messages, before I shattered her phone, before the shouting filled the house. She said Evan was the father. Nothing around me changed. The room didn't explode. No objects broke. There was only a slow internal shift, like something clicking into place. I thought about the way Evan used to look at her, the unnecessary favors, the rides he insisted on giving, the smiles he wore when he thought I wasn't paying attention. I remembered how distant she became that year, how guilt seemed to follow her everywhere, how she cried at night without making a sound. I had accused her of lying. I hadn't been wrong, just wrong about why. The email ended with a sentence that cut clean and sharp. "I know you won't forgive me. I don't deserve forgiveness. But you deserve the truth, and he deserves what's coming to him." I leaned back and let the quiet close in. Betrayal isn't always loud. Sometimes it settles in gently, whispering, until you realize it's been part of your home all along. I didn't answer her. I didn't face anyone. I began by observing quietly. Call logs came first, older records, buried ones. I noticed brief intersections between Evan's calls and the times I was out of town. Patterns small enough to hide, obvious once seen. A friend in IT helped retrieve erased texts. He didn't ask why. Receipts followed. Hotels. A single room registered under 2 different names. Then I found medical paperwork Elena had failed to destroy. One detail that had always bothered me. A mismatch in blood type that never quite made sense. I ordered the DNA test anyway. Not to find peace. Just to be certain. A week later, Evan asked me over for dinner. Steak. Bourbon. Familiar laughter. He played the role of a brother perfectly. I mirrored him, asked about his work, his marriage. He relaxed too much. People tend to overshare when they believe there's no danger. The test results came on a Tuesday. Plain envelope. No theatrics. 0% match. I didn't feel relief or pain. I felt empty. That's when I understood it was finished. I organized everything. Dates aligned. Messages captured. documents labeled, statements arranged into a timeline so precise it left no space to argue. Elena hadn't simply betrayed me. She had been cornered. I hadn't been naive. I had been unaware, and Evan had waited. I invited everyone to dinner. My parents' house. Familiar smells. Roasted chicken. Candles on the table. The illusion of routine, as if nothing irreversible was about to happen. I slid the folder across to Evan. He hesitated, then opened it. The air changed. My mother sensed it first. My father followed. Elena arrived uninvited, her face drained of color, hands shaking. Evan's fingers quivered. Explain, my father demanded. I didn't look at my brother. I watched Elena instead. She gave a single nod. That answered everything. Evan unraveled. First refusal, then fury, then tears that came too easily, like lines he practiced. I stayed silent. When he reached for me, I finally met his stare. You hid the wrong truth, I said. That was enough. What followed wasn't dramatic. It was administrative. Everything was already in motion. Reports submitted, copies delivered to his wife, his workplace, his parole officer. He had forgotten that charge from years ago. I hadn't. I didn't shout. I didn't insult him. I let the process do the damage. He pleaded. I listened. Then I stood. I trusted you. I said, that was my error. I won't make it again. I left while voices rose behind me. The family splitting apart without me. No pursuit. No final exchange for him. That night, I cut off Elena, not out of bitterness, but because there was nothing left to say. Some truths don't repair damage. They only exist to correct history. I sleep now, not deeply, but truthfully. What betrayal taught me was simple. Love doesn't die when someone deceives you. It dies when you finally understand who they really are.